In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the formula to calculate the volume of a rectangular prism. What exactly is volume? Well, if you take a look at the screen, right now you have here a rectangle. A rectangle only has two dimensions, length and width, so we can only find the area of a rectangle. And you already know that we find the area of a rectangle by multiplying the length and the width. When we're talking about volume, though, we're talking about shapes that have three dimensions, length, width, and height, also known as depth. Another way to think about it is a rectangle that's been stacked on top of another rectangle on top of another rectangle so that it has three dimensions. Okay, so how do we find the volume of a shape? Before we start, I want you to take a look at this box and ask yourself how many cubes will fit inside the box. Pause the video, and when you're ready to return, unpause it and we'll look at the solution. Okay, so you took a look at this box and you asked yourself, well, how many boxes are going to fit inside? Maybe you started with the strategy of trying to fill in the rest of the box, like this. And you found, if you did that, that there's actually 9 cubes on the bottom layer. You can also see that it's a 3 cubes, 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters. And you know that 3 times 3 is 9. But how many cubes fit inside the whole box? We need another piece of information. That has to do with this box here. We can see that this box is actually 2 centimeters high. 1 layer, 2 layers. So if there's 9 boxes on the bottom layer and we have 2 layers, we should be able to see that this box can fit 18 cubes. If we were to multiply this out, that means 3 centimeters times 3 centimeters, which is 9, times 2 centimeters, which is 18. What does that look like in another example? Let's look at this rectangular prism. To find the dimensions of this rectangular prism, we need to find out what is the width, what is the length, and what is the height, or depth. And I'd actually like to use the word depth so that it doesn't become confusing later on. Well, let's start with the width. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can see that this rectangular prism has 4 centimeters in width. It's 4 centimeters wide. And the length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This rectangular prism is 5 centimeters wide. So if we look at the bottom, we have a rectangle with 5 centimeters in length and 4 centimeters in width. And you already know how to find the area of a rectangle. Multiply the length times the width. Well, all we have here is several stacks of a rectangle on the bottom. In fact, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. In other words, we have 6 centimeter depth. What that means is we have this rectangle with an area that's stacked up 6 centimeters high. So how do we find the volume of this shape? Well, the formula for finding the volume of the shape is actually quite simple once you know that you're finding the area times the depth. The actual formula is written like this. Volume equals the area of the base, times the depth. Okay, what does that mean? The important thing to remember here is what are we talking about when we say area of the base? The area of the base is the base of the object. In this case, the base of the object is actually a rectangle. We already saw that it has a width of 4 and a length of 5. So the base is a rectangle. Well, we know the formula for the area of a rectangle, and we know that that is length times width. Length times width is how we find the area of this base, which is a rectangle. Once we find that, we multiply by how many layers there are, or how deep it is. That's the depth. Now we substitute our values. The width is 4 centimeters. The length is 5 centimeters. The width is 4 centimeters. And the depth is 6 centimeters. In math, we always do what's in the brackets first. This is just a signal to us that this multiplication has to happen first. 5 centimeters times 4 centimeters is 20 centimeters square times 6 centimeters, or 6 layers of 20 centimeter blocks. 20 times 6 centimeters is 120 centimeters cubed. More on this in the second video.